They say the people who break you always look like the people who raised you. I learned that truth on a stormy Thursday night, when my own mother pressed the cold metal of the gate remote into my palm, and said without blinking, "Naledi, you cannot stay here another night." Our family mansion, the same one with marble floors and imported chandeliers, glowed behind her like a palace. But I stood outside it barefoot, holding just a plastic grocery bag of clothes. Welcome to my channel. I share life stories here, and I really appreciate it if you hit subscribe and like my videos. Now let's jump back into my story. I am sure you'll love it. My younger cousin, Thando, leaned against my father's Mercedes, smiling like she had one. She rolled her eyes at me. "Leave, Cece. You're taking up space we need." Lightning cracked in the sky. I walked away from the golden gates, as they shut with a beep that felt like a slap. Only when I reached the old Cape Dutch fountain did my knees finally tremble. That was when I saw her. An elderly woman under the rain, dressed in an oversized men's shirt, toes blue from cold, eyes bright like someone carrying a universe of pain. She whispered, "Please, do you know where the shelter is?" Her voice shook so violently. I didn't think. I just took off my only dry hoodie and placed it around her shoulders. Her whole body stilled. Then she looked at me from deep in her soul and said softly, "Kindness reveals royalty where no crown exists." She walked away into the rain and vanished behind the jacaranda trees. I thought that was the end of it. It wasn't. 1 hour later, 8 matte black Mercedes G-Wagons pulled into the road around me, forming a perfect circle. A line of men in dark coats stepped out, and from the middle car, the same old woman emerged. Clean, elegant, wearing a cream power suit, hair in silver braids wrapped like a queen's crown, diamonds glinting at her throat. She approached me slowly and said the sentence that split my life in half. "Naledi Masando, I have been searching for someone like you." Hours earlier, I had lost my job. A tech startup went bankrupt. No severance, no future. When I called Mama, I only needed a couch for a week. But my cousin Thando had moved into my room, into my life, into my parents' hearts. The very moment my father decided she was everything Naledi should be, they pushed me out, like a stain on their expensive furniture. I spent that night sleeping behind the church, wrapped in wet newspaper, until the woman returned. Her name was Dr. Marangwa Duma, the founder of the Duma Trust, one of the largest philanthropic organizations in Africa. A legend. A ghost. A woman the world rarely saw. She took me to her cliffside mansion, where waves crashed beneath glass walls. Inside, the warmth was painful, like entering a life I didn't deserve. She told me her story. Her own daughter had abandoned her, left her to die in the rain 20 years ago. Since then, she tested strangers every year, to see who still had humanity. And this year, she chose me. "You gave away your last warmth," she said. "People with everything rarely do that. People with nothing almost never do." She offered me a room, a job, a chance, and a warning. I do not give gifts. I build warriors. For 6 months, I woke up at 4:30 a.m. Barefoot meditation on the cliff. Financial training with charity auditors. Leadership classes. Trauma counseling. Shadowing Dr. Duma in township schools. Running operations for women's shelters. Learning to negotiate with billionaires. Learning to stand without shaking. She introduced me to everyone as my protege, my heir. For the first time in my life, someone chose me. Not for who they wanted me to be, but for who I already was. Then one Monday morning, my past barged into my new glass office. My parents. Thando. All looking thin, tired, broken. My father's investment scheme had collapsed. Thando's influencer career had died. They were months behind on rent. And they wanted help. They wanted me. The girl they threw away. Papa cleared his throat. Naledi. Please. Just something small. I handed them a folder. Rehab facilities for Thando. Financial literacy for my parents. A community housing program. The same help strangers received. Not a cent more. Thando burst into tears. Mama whispered. We were wrong. Papa whispered. We need you. I whispered. I needed you too. And I walked away. Just like they walked away from me. Part 5, The Crown No One Expected. At the annual gala, Dr. Duma announced her retirement. Before the cameras. Before South Africa's most powerful people. She placed a beaded necklace, the symbol of leadership, over my shoulders. Meet the new director of the Duma Trust, she said, her voice breaking. The room erupted. I saw Papa in the back. Mama crying. Thando staring at me. Like she finally saw a real human being. I didn't smile. I didn't wave. I just touched the necklace and whispered to myself. Kindness is the one crown you earn. That night, a little boy tugged my dress and asked, Aunty, why do you help people? I knelt down, looked him in the eyes, and finally answered the question. That shaped my entire life. Because someone helped me. When I had nowhere left to go. Outside. The rain began to fall again. Soft, warm, gentle. The same rain that once took everything from me was now blessing everything I had built. And for the first time, I felt whole.